Alex Murder on the right at 4-0-1 versus Justin Crossley on the left.
Can we move back over now that we're off camera so we can see the game better? Or do that.
Is that good?
Yeah, I'm just like really blind.
So we've confirmed that it is 21 match points that you need to qualify for day 2. That's either a 7-2 record or a 6-0-3 record. So you can Justin Crossley, for instance, could win this match and then triple draw in. It's undoubt. It probably won't happen, but wow, Klinklang. Okay, so right into the action. We see Alex on the right playing what looks
very quickly. That's what he's playing.
He dropped a.
I saw an Absol on a Lightning Energy.
Yeah, he's just playing. It looks like basic plasma
with Keldeo, which is interesting. So like kind of an outdated like Nationals with random receiver too. Yeah, I wonder if he's playing like Bicycle and Life too.
He's getting an N, and we see on the left Justin Crossley 5-0 with Klinklang.
Yeah, that rules.
Yeah. So okay, so there's no more energy switching Klinklang, right? So it's just the like EX protection. That's not gonna do very well versus Kyurem, but Kyurem is weak.
Yeah,
maybe. Do you know what he's playing at all? Do you know this guy from your area at all?
No, I don't. So I'm not entirely sure. I do know that when Klinklang was a lot more popular, or like when Klinklang was still like sort of an option, like for Nationals and Worlds, when all of the good cards from Klinklang were legal and like both decks were like at their best. I do know that the Plasma and Klinklang matchup was like relatively even, if neither deck was like specifically tech to beat the other.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kyurem has weakness, but
Special Energy is going to play a really big factor as well because of Gavalion EX's first attack. And so far, in the first turn of the game, he hasn't even played a supporter, and we've seen a basic Lightning and a basic Water, which makes me think he's probably playing quite a few basic Energy.
Right, and I'm hoping. I really want to. I love Klinklang. I don't know if you guys have ever read anything I've ever written ever, but I really love the Klinklang deck, and I top 4 to stage with it last year, and I'm really excited to see what happens here. As 2 Klinks, they get immediately Frost Speared.
And they're done. Alex Murder is signing the slip.
Searching for a third one. He says, "Hi, Mom."
Is that really what he wrote on it?
Hi, Mommy.
I like this guy.
Alex, what a nice folks.
All right, so Mrs. Murder, if you were at home watching this, a fond hello from your son.
So we see Heavy Ball getting a Klink, his third Klink, and that's a big problem is that these Klinks just die to Landorus's and Kyurem. So being Plasma going first with a turn 1 Frost Spear is not exactly where you want to be as a Klinklang player.
Is his field just 3 Klinks?
Just 3 Klinks.
There's a lot of glare on the active.
You see.
It's mostly the glare, but I mean, you're more than welcome to move it because I'm still struggling.
And
it's hard to do commentary when you're blind, folks. When he came up to our table and I said, "You're purple," and he said, "Who cares?" So
his sleeves are purple too, dude.
Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, that's if you can't tell, that's not like an Under Armour. He's painted purple.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. He's trying to have a gimmick. You know what I mean? So Jaws, it looks like he drew. I couldn't quite see it. He does wake up from the sleep from the laser. Plays a second Deoxys, getting a Plasma Ball. I don't really see, like, he's just gonna get a double KO on Klinks here, even if Justin gets a Klinklang, like, he still needs an energy track. The only thing he can do with 1 energy, I haven't seen his list. The only thing I assume he can do with 1 energy is a Steel Bullet or whatever the attack is on Klinklang.
The first one is something different. The second one is Steel Bullet. I'm not
sure. The first one, it's 1 for 30. Discard a special off the opponent.
He attaches a Silver Bangle.
Silver Bangle, catching up the Klink.
I guess because he was just Junipering anyway.
Yeah.
But that's still... Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
It literally doesn't matter, but...
He Junipered away another Lightning Energy, so I'm definitely assuming he's playing mostly basic energy.
He does the Prisms. It's early.
If I had to take a guess this early, I would say he's probably playing something like 4 Prism, 4 Plasma, and then the rest basic instead of blends, which is something I've seen a lot of people do. To varying amounts of success.
A double knockout.
So there's a very good chance the game is going to end here.
Yeah, I mean,
I just saw a Klink in his hand, and if he can evolve to that Klinklang that's in his hand, he could be in better shape.
Yeah.
So he's going to end, which means Alex is just going to need to catch her next turn if Justin doesn't get any more basics.
Yeah, no, I'm afraid it's just kind of I think the way the game's going to go. Like, the Klinklang deck, I mean, I haven't seen it, but from what I would assume, I tried to work on it a little bit post-rotation, and it's just, it's just going to be those Klinklangs and like Kabalions and stuff. He doesn't have any like tricks up his sleeve, and like Klinklang will just lose to a Kyurem. Kyurem's on the X. Kyurem is very powerful, especially going first, and that's the thing too is with this new best of 3 format. If Alex does win this game, even if he loses game 2, he gets to go first next game. Timer, please. Okay,
we're not gonna have a timer this game. It's too late to add one now. Yeah, it already started. But if game 2 or 3 goes anything like game 1, I'd imagine we're not gonna need one.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the way, like, if Justin wins a game or this game or whatever, it's going to be from taking a long time. You know what I mean? The Klinklang isn't very fast, so, like, that's a consideration to make, too.
Quick shameless plug. If you like Alex's poison marker, it's the official Top Cut Central poison and burn marker. It's got poison on one side and burn on the other.
Oh, wow.
You should buy one.
Good eye. Good eye.
Good guy. Oh, my lord. I really wish Harrison was here.
And we get a catcher on the Klink, and he's going to knock it out with the Deoxys boys, and he considers dropping a 4th Deoxys.
Does the Klang have enough damage, the benched Klang have enough damage to die from the 30? I guess Justin would just scoop if it did, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it does. It has 80, I believe. Bianca, computer search, discarding a Deoxys and a Plasma Energy, it looks like.
He hasn't discarded anything.
Yeah. He like.
Oh, you saw it in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Sorry, Chase is distracting me. And yeah, so I don't know. Alex is controlling. He's commanding lead of this game. I don't really know what he can. I don't really know what Justin can do to get out of it. Alex just played a Kyurem with an energy on it, so like I don't know. He just has basically everything he needs. He's gonna tick up from poison, draws, and I think we're just gonna see. Oh, we see the Kabalion slam down.
Slammed.
And he does evolve. Thanks, Dad. He does evolve into a Klinklang. So I guess that could help. Is he ending? Okay, so he ends.
So if he's able to use Kabalion's first attack, we really probably should have figured out what it's called by now. Righteous Edge came to be. If he's able to use Righteous Edge this turn... Oh, that's the basic water on the active Kyurem. Yeah, he's kind of boned.
Well, if he can land a Verbank, I don't know if the deck plays Verbank, but if he can Verbank, because he can go 30, 60.
Oh, just kill it, sure.
Yeah.
I do know a lot of Klinklang lists were playing lasers, like with and without Verbanks, specifically just for good math on Kyurem. So
alright, man. Thought he was scooping with his cards, but it's not. Just a slight messed up there.
Yeah, so we see Alex reading Plasma Klinklang, so he doesn't appear to be terribly well versed in the matchup.
And
that's alright. I didn't mean to make that sound so mean. I don't know what every card does either.
He might have just been reading the attack too, you know? Like, you know, it's confirming. Attaching a Bangle to the bench Kyurem. And then at this point, it's just like you can tell kind of the confidence that he has when he's ending himself to 3 just for
sure.
Essentially
his
no
board
reason.
Is so strong. I'd imagine his hand wasn't that great because he has a few beats left to hit before he can like really just put this in autopilot, but he's getting there. Very strange cutting from Alex Murder. Must be the purple.
I think he drew a water, a juniper, and a 1 unknown card, a Caller's Machine. So yeah, these guys are going to prompt a concession. Yeah, that's basically how I would expect it to go. Really, I don't know. I wish we could see more of the Klinklang deck. It does have to go first now, but like it doesn't really matter because the weakness of that Klinklang deck is the Kyurem. So turn 1 Kyurem on going first or second doesn't actually really matter. Again,
it gives you a chance to evolve out of it sooner, so you don't have like
right.
Klinks sitting duck Klinks for.
Also, turn 1 Kyurem is not like a guarantee. There's lots of routes to it, but like
it looks like his deck is sort of built around like early aggression, though. With like we saw with Bianca and Computer Search, which are like not completely off the wall, but like relatively unorthodox.
I think it is kind of more like the old list you were saying, like the Nationals.
And I felt like I saw a lot of Colress machines, and I didn't see 4 necessarily, but the frequency with which we were seeing them might suggest that he plays a high count.
Right.
So it seems like his deck is built around like a pretty aggressive turn 1, which is the worst plasma deck for Klinklang to face.
And not to say that like Justin's out of it. Like there's definitely a world where he gets a turn 2 Klinklang and 2 energy on a Kabalion, and is able to attack, and the Kyurem can't kill him, and then he can kill the Kyurem, and just like set up this kind of board where, because Kabalion's like a good attacker, Klinklang's he can't die to anything but Kyurem in the deck. So it's like if he can knock out the probably 2 to 3 Kyurem that he has,
or just keep energy off of them, like
right with the Righteous Edge. I wonder
he doesn't necessarily have to like power up a Steel Bullet and like stall until he can start one-shotting Kyurem. He just needs to actually Steel Bullet doesn't.
He can't one-shot it,
which is so gross. Yeah. So the odds are definitely stacked against him. It's winnable. We've seen Klinklang beat Plasma plenty of times.
Yeah. Also, the other thing we might see, assuming again we don't actually know this, but if Alex is a little bit less experienced in the matchup, we could see him maybe turn 1 Colorless Machine or attach a Plasma onto the Kyurem without. Can you go back to the game, please? Without thinking about the Righteous Edge. You know what I mean? So we could see him like, okay, well I'm just gonna Plasma now and attach
water next
to
him,
and not understand how the Righteous Edge work, because he didn't. He attacked with Kyurem once there, so he might have just not thought about it, There
are a lot of variables to consider.
Yeah. And I guess we see a mulligan.
Yeah, then he makes fun of us. Like, what? You didn't know what my sign language meant? You don't speak American Sign Language? What? You don't get what?
Alright, so we have a Durant active versus the Deoxys.
So this is like a super throwback Klinklang. Colin Mall was a big advocate for Durant, like during States. He had a really good States run with Klinklang.
Yep.
So we're seeing 2 like relatively outdated decks. But relatively being the key word there, because obviously they're still relevant because they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean 4-0-1 and 5-0, nothing to scoff at. Like again, if Justin does win this match, he can triple draw or win 1 more. He can go 1-2 into the day 2.
Win or lose, I'd really like an interview with Justin after this game, so we'll see what we can do to get him back here.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be nice to talk about the Klinklang deck. I love Klinklang, and like you said, I when I was playing it during States, I got my list from like Colin and Britt, and I think the Durant's amazing. Like I don't know off the top of my head if anything really changes with it. It's just a good consistency card to buy back balls or rare candies or whatever you need to just set your stuff up.
It makes a lot of unwinnable matchups winnable. Like if you I remember at Spring Regionals, Britt playing Klinklang and doing really well with it. He made top 4 that year, and he was talking to me about a game he played against. I want to say it was Garbode or something, and he started attacking with Durant on turn 1 and just used Durant's attack every turn to keep recycling exactly what he needed to deck the Garbode player out. And was obviously like it was a secondhand like recollection, but he was basically saying like he had to pick the perfect thing every turn to win, but he was able to like just deck out some random obscure like off the map type deck that he wasn't prepared to face, just with Durant being so versatile.
It's also, I don't know exactly what this list looked like. Obviously, there might be a little bit more room now, but I know that like I believe Colin's Worlds list played like 1 laser or like very short laser. It could just be like buying back the laser when you need it. Kind of it's like a pseudo junk hunt essentially. So we're seeing an N.
It's pronounced Pseudo Wudo, Kenny.
Pseudo Wudo?
Pseudo Wudo.
And we see a Colorless Machine on the Kyurem. So this, if he doesn't have the attack here, this could be what we were talking about. This could be the Plasma for no reason get blown out by a Kabalion. I don't think that Justin has like an out to that in his hand. I see a Klink. I see a Floatstone. I see a Red Candy, and I see another Klink, I guess. I know he has more cards than that, but I see an N. So that is definitely something to be worried about, though, on Alex's side. Alex is now reading the Durant. So again, no disrespect to Alex. He's 4-0 or 4-0-1. Where I just, from reading the cards, I would assume that he doesn't know what Klinklang does. He might be a new player this season and just has actually never seen it because it wasn't really a deck. So he passes with nothing. Deoxys ticks up to 60, stays asleep, and Justin's going to play another Klink, Rare Candy, into Klinklang. So now once he gets a Kabalion and some energy up, he has kind of his setup.
A wedgie.
This is the issue with the Klinklang deck, and it's always been, is that there's no energy acceleration. Almost every other deck, actually maybe every other deck, Darkrai, Virizion, Plasma, Blastoise, all rely, even Eels, like when that was legal, all rely on energy acceleration.
And that's something that always, I don't want to say held Klinklang back because it was so successful, but I think having Shift Gear Klinklang, Plasma Klinklang, and any sort of metal acceleration in the format at the same time would have made that deck very, very, very powerful.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because it was just something that was a lot, it was really easy to play around. You always knew, like, especially because Kabalion is really the only attacker they're using. You see one energy, and you know you have 2 turns before they can Steel Bullet. Like, you see no energy, you know that you're safe for a turn, you'll get 30, and then in 2 turns you get 100. Like, it's
Additionally, you just also know that they are a Stage 2 deck playing a Stage 2 line Beaches and Candies, and so they just don't have enough, they don't have a lot of room for energy. So it's like, you know, a couple are prized, there's a Juniper, a couple, and you just, you know, then you're down to as little as 5 energy, sometimes 4 energy, and you just might not have the ability to do it. So we're seeing a catcher on the Klink with the Float Stone on the Thundurus. And now there's a Prism on the Deoxys as well, so Tool Scrapping the Float Stone. And we're switching...
I'm not sure why you put a Prism on the Deoxys.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's a Prism on the Kyurem.
That makes more sense.
Sorry, I got my Pokemon confused.
Hey, Chase, could you just mute Kenny's microphone for me so I just don't have to listen to him anymore? Could you do that for me? Thanks.
Yeah, do it. I don't want to talk anymore. Dropping another Kyurem. He has a basic water in his hand. I mean, it's hard to really criticize Alex here because Justin doesn't really have much of an offense right now. So it's like if he had a Kabalion, you know, right his edging away, it would be a little bit different. But as of now, he doesn't. He gets the second Deoxys, and if he has a third one, he can go ahead and knock out that Klink. But he's going to do 50 and 30 to the Durant. 2 Tool Scrappers in Justin's hand. He's going to play 1 to get rid of the Float Stone.
Seeing 2 Tool Scrapper is actually a little disheartening for me. I think I'm not sure why he's playing such heavy Tool Scrapper in a Klinklang deck. That like suggests like a hint of inadequacy to me. Like that could be part of the reason he doesn't seem to be like running all that well. He might have a relatively inferior list.
Maybe. I mean, it's probably a concession to Garbodor. You know what I mean?
But I mean, when you think about the matchup, it just doesn't seem relevant since your ability is defensive. Like having a tool off on your turn doesn't really do anything for you, especially now that you don't even have Shift Gear.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
So I mean, maybe he's worried about Bangles, or maybe he's attacking with Plasma Klinklang a lot, and he's worried about Silver Mirror. But I don't see a reason to play 2, and honestly, maybe not even 1.
So we see Chorus for, I believe, 6 cards. It's going to lead to an Ultra Ball, and this is where he really has to start getting out attackers. I mean, he doesn't really have anything. Like it's, you know, Klinklang is no longer. It used to be that when you got the Shift Gear and the Plasma 1-up, it was like you had a lock. You know what I mean? So besides time, it didn't really matter how long you took because you just had. They couldn't do anything. But now we're in a much different world where. He can't move the energy around, so if he's slow to get this Kabalion up, like he can just overpower him with Kyurems and stuff, and just kind of like not care that he's doing.
Kyurem is asleep, that could be pretty relevant. I know he plays a Keldeo, but we haven't seen it yet, so that could be something that comes into play. Have we seen any switches from Alex? Does he play Switch?
I do not believe we have.
He's also I had to sneeze. All right, we're good.
We're good.
So his Kyurem is facing the wrong direction. Something I'm sure like 800 people in the chat have already pointed out, but
paralyzed. It's paralyzed, dude.
Or he's just paralyzed, and I wasn't paying attention. But I don't think anything in a Klinklang deck paralyzes.
I'm gonna see a catcher on the Durant. I think the biggest thing too, if you remember the old Klinklang decks, was just the max potion tricks of just being able to like.
For sure.
I know that there were turns in the states that I did well with it where I would just move them off max potion.
Exactly, and that contributes to the whole lock factor because it just means like it just reduces their options. Like if they're not one-shotting you, they're not touching you, things like that.
Maybe this deck will get
better.
better.
That's why Radios had such a good matchup against it.
Yeah. Maybe this deck will get better with Energy Switch going back in the next set. It's kind of a pseudo.
I don't see it. I don't think there's room. Well, then again, I guess they took out a whole stage 2 line, so maybe there is room. No, they didn't. They just took out one stage 2. Yeah, of course. No, there's no way there's room. Yeah, of course. Man. And the hardest thing about live commentary is you have no time to think before you speak.
It happens. And we're seeing Oh, it's a Silva plus a laser. Okay. And this is definitely a much different game. Max potion on the Kyurem. Still in Alex's favor, I think. He's losing a little bit of his board advantage, but so is Justin here. He doesn't really have much going
He's
on.
losing whatever board advantage he had. He's discarding an absolute computer search, which is really interesting. He seems like pretty confident that his Kyurems are going to be able to take those last 4 prizes, but seems pretty short-sighted of him to discard a non-EX attacker.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, especially because I think in a perfect world, Justin is probably going to want to fill his bench a little bit more. Like he's probably gonna want to get like at least another attacker, and I don't know.
Whoa, nice.
But yeah, I think the absol is really important. There, I don't like that play at all. But maybe I'm missing something.
He also has 2 special energy on that active Kyurem, which I can't see the damage, so maybe it's about to die anyway. But that's another pretty big factor to note. It definitely seems like this could be swinging in Justin's favor, but I still don't really like his odds in a game 3.
So it seems like
oh,
there's
great! Now they're arguing.
Dispute over the supporter.
I think Justin was just clarifying what he had.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
computer search or something.
This turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we've seen a relatively low number of
Also, notice how Alex drew a Deoxys, and before he'd even picked up his 7th card from the Juniper, just threw it onto his bench. And I don't. Again, I guess. Oh, yeah, okay, it's because he's one-shotting a Kabbalah.
Yeah,
All
knocks out
right, yeah, that's super relevant. All right, never mind. Wait, did he not play laser this turn?
No.
Okay, false alarm. No, I'm being too critical. I'm sorry, Alex. That was
mute.
That was
Mike for me, dude. And
wish I was dead.
Going down. I don't know what that. Oh, okay. That's just a marker indicating he's used the big attack, so he can't do it again next turn without a Russian retreat.
That's clever.
He just passed. Passing the Kyurem. Kyurem doesn't get knocked out, so this is. I still think the game is far in Alex's favor, but this is one of the ways for Justin to win.
I wouldn't even say it's that far in his favor at this point. I mean, Alex's board is totally naked. He's got 1 non-EX attacker left, and Justin's attacking. Is he?
No, he passed.
He passed it.
Died
poison. Does Justin have anything on his bench, or is it just it's just the active plasma clang?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't even. I can't quite see because of the glare, but I don't think that thing under is an energy. I think it's just like a pre-evolution. So I mean, obviously it's just like it's again with the energy acceleration idea. The problem is that they're in sort of the same position, except for the Deoxys added damage, but also the Thunder is going to get back energy.
Yeah.
So it's just like if he can land a lightning energy or a rainbow effect, he's just going to be overpowering him. And I don't know. I think this is pretty well into Alex's favor, but I mean we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, neither player is. Alex isn't really doing much of anything. I don't know what he has in his hand. He also has a pretty small deck, it looks like. So yeah, and he's junipering away 2 waters. Looks like he just added a water to a Kyurem. Just playing a lot of basic energy, which I guess really helps him here, like just happenstance.
Ultra Ball's 2 ends. Sees that he's not going to get a holiday use out of those.
Yeah.
I guess he's just looking through his deck and trying to thin it out.
So is he out? He could be out of energy here. Like that's could be what he was looking for. Like he did discard 2 waters there. We've seen multiple specials. I could be wrong. I haven't exactly been counting. Both these players are just playing with their deck with their cards like upside down and mismatched. But
I'm not seeing that many prisms or water.
There's also no lightning in the discard.
In his discard.
So he still has some energies left, and it's actually probably helpful to him because there's so few cards in his deck that most of them are probably energy. So I misspoke, but
what are people saying in the chat, Chase? Are we missing anything?
And there's the lightning.
He draws the lightning. That Deoxys is stock active. I wasn't going to say anything because I just felt like I was being way too hard on the kid, but I didn't like how he put the float stone on just one of his random Deoxys. Like, if you're worried about being catcher stalled, it doesn't make sense to just play a float stone on one of your 2 Deoxys. I mean, I don't know if he's just trying to get out of his hand or what.
To quickly mention, like, it's obviously we're not trying to be harsh on any of these players. Which it's way different being in the booth thing here and not having anything on the line. And
for sure,
we also want to provide the best commentary we can.
The reason I'm in the booth is because I made my fair share of far worse misplays today. So I definitely don't mean to be overcritical or anything. I'm just trying to analyze like what I'm seeing and share my thoughts.
So he does have a float stone. Range of Thunderous, and I thought Joshua was going to concede. So you're going to see a Raid Knuckle for 60. Power up on that Kyurem.
He's not doing damage with the Raid Knuckle.
Oh, right, sorry, he's not doing damage with Raid Knuckle. But he is getting energy.
But yeah, and that is going to be what he needs.
And I think just as a switch, a metal, two metals in a switch in hand. Basically dead cards either way, so. He top decks, another switch, it looked like. Bad beats, and he's just going to pass.
So this should be it, right?
Alex
needs a colorless energy.
Yeah. I assume Alex knows what he has in his deck. He's like third enough. Gonna retreat and knockout, and Alex Murder takes the game, or takes the match 2-0.